It's a penis joke.
Yeah, because it's short. It's small.
Exactly. He said, oh.
What's going on, guys? It's the Philosopher, and welcome to the Console Explosion podcast. This is where we talk about all the nerdy things that really matter to us. Today, we had a conversation that was sparked up by Sony raising up their prices for their PlayStation Plus. We really took a deep dive into the direction of where console gaming is going in the future. Are we still going to have consoles? Is that going to be a thing? And what about the competitive scene? What's going to happen with that? So we talk about all that and more, and we'd love to hear your thoughts. So let us know what you guys thought about what we talked about. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the show.
The first topic we should probably talk about is good old Sony. They have decided to hike up their prices on PlayStation Plus, which will take effect eventually. And it's actually going from the 3 month next month, right? It's going from $17.99 to $24.99 for the 3 months. And then it's going up to, I believe, $60 from $50 for the 6 months, and I'll double check that to confirm. But yeah, they're putting up their prices, and this is a quote directly from Sony, referring to the whole price thing, which goes, quote, "The new pricing reflects the current market conditions while enabling us to continue providing exceptional value to our members. As a member, you will continue to enjoy the benefits and features that enable shared experiences such as online multiplayer, free games, and exclusive discounts." So they gave a reason for their discount, and I'm curious, before I share my thoughts, I'd like to get your guys' thoughts too. Also, I know Canada's prices are changing as well, but they don't matter to me, so I'm not even going to list those numbers. Now, I'll list them in a second, but who wants to jump into that first?
I'm canceling my subscription.
Are you being sarcastic?
I'm not. No, I literally don't use the PlayStation Plus network thing.
Mm-hmm.
The only time I ever did is when I play the TCX with what was that game called? What's that soccer game we played?
Rocket League.
That's
Pro
the only,
Evolution Soccer.
yeah, because remember, I couldn't use the game on my PlayStation 4 because I think my little brother did something to his account that wouldn't allow me to access to it. So I went, paid for the subscription, then I went and bought the game. Then I finally got to play with you guys, but we haven't played since. So until we do again, I'm dropping the I'm just dropping the subscription.
Yeah, but your reasoning though, I think, differs from what the topic is. You're doing it because
I know, but why should I'm still saying, why should I pay more for something I don't really use?
But let's say the price didn't change. Would you still cancel it?
I was actually debating it. Should I or not? But now it's a definitely.
Well, yeah.
Unless they're offering us something more. Are they offering us something more?
No.
Then
no.
Yeah.
So I myself, I think I'm in a good position, if I can say that, because I just bought a month ago a 12-month subscription. So I paid for the price that we were used to. Now, how much is Xbox Live?
$50.
Is it the same?
It was, but not anymore.
$9.99 a month? I don't know.
The only one that stayed the same for America is the month, which is $9.99.
Yeah, but how much is the Xbox the Xbox's Xbox Live?
Yeah, how much is that?
I thought it was like $50 for a whole year.
I believe it was $60. It used to be $50 for a year, but they jacked up to $60.
Yeah, so that's the thing,
ago.
right? Yeah. So that's the thing, right? I mean, it, if Xbox can get away with asking for that much, it's just a matter of time that happens. You know, it is funny because we are discussing at this point the pricing increase, but it was not long ago where we didn't even pay for that with the PlayStation 3.
No.
We didn't pay for that, and I don't know, man. It's weird. I think they should, the consoles are getting more and more as PCs, so we should be able to embrace that same model that they have, and not have servers for Sony to be able to so that they can be maintaining them and pay for that, and just have it the way we have it like on PC, right? They don't have dedicated servers because every PC can be one. So as we move closer and closer to a PC architecture, why not do that as well and just fucking? Well, I'll tell you why. Because they can make money out of that. So they'll continue to do it as long as people pay for it.
Which is true, but I mean, when we look at the pricing of what it is and what you actually get, it's a good deal, no matter what. The $54 or the $59, the $10 increase. At the end of the day, it's a better deal than what Xbox offers you.
Now,
in
this is only if you are continuously using it, though. If you are not, then
But even as a 1 month subscriber, you subscribe for 1 month, you get 2 free games for the PlayStation 4, 2 free games for the PlayStation 3, and 2 free games for the Vita.
But wait, those are digital copies. I want a physical copy.
So, let's say this really quick. Hi, fatty gang. Just wanted to say that out loud. Sorry.
But what I'm getting at is, even as a month, you get a chance to play some games that you maybe not would have, right? You get them free, you get to try them out, and if you happen to have the other hardware, you get some more games that maybe you've never tried before for free under this model, plus the online, which I agree that it shouldn't be. You shouldn't have to pay for it because we never paid for it with PlayStation 3.
So that's what I'm getting at. So then, make it so that it's they continue to be that service where you get what we're getting. It's just free games. As long as you continue to have this subscription, you are able to play. All that is great especially for people that do take advantage of that. But the multiplayer part of it, I think it's getting a little bit bogus at this point. Again, I'm just basing this in the architecture of the machines. Before was different, the architecture was different. So, but now, we're getting more into the PC. So the excuses for that, I think, are getting more and more not very valid, in my opinion.
No, agree. But the reasoning behind it, why they put the multiplayer in with the PlayStation Plus, was no one would buy it without it, right?
Well, that's not true. I don't know. I can't say if that's not true or not. But I was, to me, when I had with the PlayStation 3, I paid for the service. Why? Because I wanted to have those free games, or be able to have some services, like, for instance, the machine was backing up all my saves by itself, and it will update it by stuff like that. That I think that's even bogus, but I think that should be part of the console as it is, and not a paid service, if it makes any sense. But in the case of multiplayer, I don't think. I get that you're saying it because they will just no one buy it. I don't think no one will not buy it, but it just makes it so that you have to buy it if you want to play multiplayer. But as everything moves out like that, as everything moves to more and more closer to a PC environment, and as Xbox gets more and more of their exclusive games into PC, people will have gaming PCs more and more, which will, in my opinion, eventually push that the PlayStation to that point which has actually happened to me. As soon as I upgraded for a good gaming PC, PlayStation 4. I mean, there's really the usage of that. It starts to go down and down to just the exclusives, to a point that as Tyler said, why pay for it at this point, right? If you have a gaming PC, it's hard to justify.
You know what Xbox Live supports that PlayStation Network doesn't?
What?
Backwards compatibility.
Well, but didn't they change that to the Xbox so that you can play a lot of games?
Well, you can play. What?
Yeah, the Xbox One
Yes, there you go.
has a lot of backwards compatibility with Xbox 360 games.
Yeah, which you get it through Xbox Live, right?
No,
It
was a patch.
Oh.
I believe you have to download a certain patch for each game, I believe, but that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you had to get Xbox Live or something.
No.
Well, here's something. Sony put some kind of make your own backwards compatibility emulator or something, and I'll be joining the PlayStation Network quickly then.
Neither company is going to go ahead and endorse that, I doubt.
Well, Xbox is. Well, not with Xbox Live, apparently. I thought you needed it.
I don't think you do.
Well, see, there's Xbox Live Gold, and then there's just a regular Xbox Live account, I believe. At least in 360. I think the Xbox One kind of carried that over as well. So as long as you have I don't know what to call it now, but essentially a silver account where it's the free version, where you have the account that's tied to the internet so that you can access some of their free stuff. Whereas Gold, you have to have the play online and get the discounts and other exclusive deals or free games that they do, kind of like how PlayStation Plus does and did with PS3 and PS4. And
as you can see, we are not an Xbox.
We're not an Xbox company. Like I don't own an Xbox One. My roommate has one, but I don't want to say that PlayStation won the console battle for me this year, but I know Jared's gonna say.
If you have a gaming PC, it's very, very hard to justify buying an Xbox One.
I agree, especially now that you can get most of those games.
Yeah, most of the games,
One.
most of the exclusive games. Yeah, most of the exclusive games are on PC.
Yeah, if you have a Windows 10,
They still haven't given me mine.
I'm sorry. Yeah, if you have a Windows 10 gaming PC, there's not really much of a reason to me to get an Xbox One. And there's already rumors and stuff circulating that this is going to be the last actual. And damn it, I'll give you your credit, Antonio. You did call this, but
of course I did.
The last
because
console.
That's why.
Yeah, so they're going to be doing more PC type stuff in the future. I wanted PlayStation 4 to get. Well, one, I wanted the Star Wars one because that was cool, and Battlefront was really fun. I do want to play some more of that, but Street Fighter 5, which I know you can get on PC, but I am into competitive scenes, so I had to get it for PS4, or I wanted to get it on PS4.
Why is that? Is every competitive game played on a PS4?
No, but a majority of them are. 360 really dominated last generation with Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Is there a difference?
Performance-wise between PC and for Street Fighter 5, I know there's some sort of difference. I don't know what the PC is because I don't play it. I know there is a 8-frame delay issue with the PS4 thing, but everyone's already been really used to it by now, so I don't think they're going to patch that sort of thing. They might just change the way the frame data is given to you. I think the main thing is just some sort of standard for people, and a majority of people, it's easier to set up a tournament with a console rather than a PC. That's, yes. I think, the main
that's true. That is probably more of an ease of use than anything else.
Yeah, transporting a bunch of PCs is hard.
I was just going to pop in there real quick just because of... I'll let you finish, sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Just because doing tournaments with consoles is a hell of a lot easier because of the peripherals. We had a few members of TCX Team 3 do a tournament down in Florida, and one of those teams that was down there, it took 2 hours for that team to get their peripherals, Logitech mouse and keyboards and all this stuff to go with these computers that were built for this tournament. So when you go to these tournaments, it was an Overwatch tournament, when you go to these tournaments and whatnot, and these teams are bringing their own stuff, these computers aren't set up for those plugins or set up for those devices, so it takes a hell of a lot of time. When you do tournaments with a Wii console or a PlayStation or an Xbox, plug in and go, right? So, I do know that it's a hell of a lot easier doing, esports stuff with consoles. So, and that's why a lot of fighting tournaments, they rely on the consoles instead of using main cabinets or anything in that sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
No, I agree. But just the lag to me, I guess what you're saying, Tavian, is that you eventually get used to it. I just bought Mega Man Legacy for the PC from Steam when it was the Capcom sale thing.
Yeah.
And oh my god, there's I don't know how much amount of lag, but there is a noticeable amount of lag when I put my input into when I see it happening. That it ruins the game to me. It just fucking ruins it. I mean, I can't play it now. I guess I can get used to it, but fuck that. I'll just have to play it. I bought it because I'm missing Mega Man 6 for the NES. I just wanted to be able to play it there.
And I have Mega Man 6. I need Mega Man 5.
I have Mega Man 5.
Oh.
And then we are at the same part.
How about this? You get me Mega Man 5, I'll get you Mega Man 6.
Yeah, and then we're at the same place where we need to have Mega Man 5 and then Mega Man 6.
No, I'm saying you get your hands on Mega Man 5, get yourself an extra copy, and I'll get the extra copy of 6, and we will switch.
Oh, okay. We can probably work something out like that. If we find an extra.
Yeah. They're getting really hard to find now.
But, I don't know if you guys experience this. I don't know if, especially for us retro gamers, where we had the consoles like the NES with a CRT monitor, that everything was, there's no delay. There's freaking no delay. You see what happens as you press it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here, there's this, you press the button and you see you see the movement just a little bit after.
Oh, like Castlevania 2 with the whip.
Yeah, exactly. But
I never actually noticed that. People say.
Oh my fucking god! I noticed that like crazy. I'm super sensitive to that.
Because my roommate, who's actually not here tonight, but my roommate complained about my new 4K television, saying he couldn't play what's that game he likes playing? Destiny. He said he couldn't play Destiny because he felt like there was something wrong with the TV.
It was the lag.
See, a CRT television, you're looking at about 35 milliseconds of delay between that and a composite connection. With a modern television, you're looking at more like 85 millisecond delay because your TV has internal processors which are generating the image. So there is a slight delay. And the fact that he can see that with a modern console going through HDMI is kind of impressive. But that's me.
Oh, which, by the way, we did figure out the problem with my TV. Apparently, you guys set the thing on game mode.
Game mode, yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I played all my PS4 games on that TV without the game mode with no problems. Maybe I have some kind of special ability.
Yeah, no, I'm extremely sensitive to that. I can't. I just can't. I can't do it.
Well, how about get yourself not Wetron 5, damn it. I was about to say FrameMeister.
Well, God, I want one of those.
Well, that doesn't solve my problem at all.
Yes, it does. Because there's some people say there's hardly any delay with the FrameMeister.
Yeah, but my problem is that I wanted to play Mega Man 6 or Mega Man Legends that I bought for the PC. Why would the FrameMeister help me with this?
Well, I thought you said we were talking about delays in games.
I didn't say that. No.
Not at all.
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
Fatty Game brings up a good point that I'm kind of curious.
Off?
What's that?
I was like, Nintendo gets to take his belt off. He's like,
I said
no!
shut your mouth!
Oh, that belt? I thought that was like something he
No,
whipped
it's
out of
the,
his shoe.
No, it's a thing for the rest, your wrist,
Yeah, whatever. It's a Billy Club. Don't lie.
whatever thing
Don't
it is.
lie.
Yeah.
But
It's-
a couple of questions for mine. To answer your question earlier, I think I'm the only person currently that attends any tournaments when I'm taking a short break for school, but I do play in Street Fighter V and Dead or Alive 5. I'm not that great right now, but I practice and I train and I try to learn as much as I can. I believe that Antonio used to play StarCraft competitively, or
Oh
something.
yes.
Okay. And then also Ian may have played some sort of shooter.
Well, I played Call of Duty competitively, like Call of Duty 1 back in the day.
Call of Duty 1, holy crap. But my question is this: with the emergence of, or I guess the inevitability of the consoles kind of possibly dying out, I wonder how the competitive scene is going to happen for a lot of the console-based games. How they're going to do that.
Emulation.
Well, here's the thing. Like the console market currently is basically that there's no longer dramatic hardware differences between the consoles. They're all basically just PCs in a specialized case. It's pretty much what's happened. But what you're going to have in the future is you'll probably still have specialized consoles in the sense because people still want to buy that like PlayStation, that Xbox. So you're still going to have that kind of market because that way game companies can make games specialized for those platforms and they don't have to do much else.
Salute.
But so there's always going to be that niche market. It's just not going to be as much of the market, I think, in the future. Because basically home PCs have dramatically caught up. Until there's some dramatic explosion in the processing graphical capabilities of computer parts to where they need to specialize back into graphics like the way it was back in the 90s where home console systems were specialized into gaming where PCs didn't really have that ability. It's just going to take time, unfortunately. And not to mention just as a whole, graphical capabilities on computers have somewhat stagnated where, for example, my PC that I built 8 years ago is still somewhat of the top of the line and can play pretty much any game that comes out in the market currently. So there's almost no reason to upgrade until there's a dramatic increase in the potential power of these consoles and systems. So it just takes time.
Yeah, but I don't see that happening at all. The way technology is moving, it's way more unified than that. So I don't think that will happen anytime soon.
Yeah.
I think what will happen eventually, you will see companies like Sony move in a way of services more than consoles, hardware, right?
Mm-hmm.
It only makes sense. What will happen eventually? We will have the same thing. Like for instance, you will have your TV, your smart TV, and you will have an app, a Sony app, as you have a Netflix app or whatever app, and you will have all the games there. You will just have to buy a controller that will sync to your TV. That controller, that probably will be the only hardware that will make, or they will make like small, this things that you can connect to a TV to make it smart, and have the app for Sony. They will make that and make the controller, which will be much cheaper, right? And you will have to pay a monthly service or whatever, yearly, whatever you want to do. And you will have all the games available to you, and you will stream it directly to your TV, and that's how you're going to play it. That's how it's going to happen, and I think that's going to happen way sooner than I think a lot of people give credit to. I think, we will have the PS5, we'll have the PS4 Neo. We'll probably have another upgrade for a PS4 or a PS5, and that will be it. I don't think we can go farther than that. I think at that point, by that time, Nintendo is going to be out. Probably the first ones to go are going to be Nintendo. I don't think the NX is going to be a hit at all.
I think, here's what I'm thinking. Nintendo has always had a long thought-out strategy of doing something kind of innovative and focusing more on gameplay than they have like the graphics or just kind of the standard market concepts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this is kind of how they've played the game since like the late 80s. So I
Well,
think
no, not really.
potentially-
No. I don't agree with that. I think this trend has started with the probably the GameCube or the Wii, because before that, the NES was actually an upgrade for what we had before, and the Super Nintendo was like the freaking most powerful console at that time, 16-bit, of course, because we had other ones. Well, if you exclude the Neo Geo, which came afterwards a little bit, and the Neo Geo, it's a completely different beast.
But if you think about this, though, Nintendo, like, if you look at the GameCube as far as what it represented an experience where they were focusing it at child gamers. They weren't necessarily making something that was like the Xbox or the PlayStation 2.
Mm-hmm.
They were focusing it more towards the experience of playing the games. And it's one of those systems where it still was a success in how many units it sold, but it wasn't like an amazing financial success like how the N64
No,
was.
because it was the third place
sold.
It was the third place on a third-man race.
But I think
So-
potentially if Nintendo can make a unique enough experience with playing their console, it'll drive enough business and people to want to play it.
No,
Because
it will
ultimately, I
continue.
think
Nintendo will sell no matter what, but it will sell to a core audience, which is different. But I think Nintendo will be the first one to go, because you're seeing that you're seeing the works of this strategy. Now that Iwata is dead as well, he was probably the one who was driving more for them to continue to make consoles than anyone else. And I think with the new blood that they have there and the new things, that's why you're seeing hints of things like going out of Nintendo into like your phones, right? You're seeing that. You're seeing the beginning of that, I believe. The NX, I don't think will be a hit. I think it will be like the Wii U in a sense of, well, it probably will be a little bit more successful than that, but it's not gonna be the most successful console at all. Is because people are not gonna see, the advantage of having that versus having a PS4. But the core audience, the audience that is there for the Wii U, will continue to be there, exactly the same, because Nintendo is Nintendo, and you can only get, those games there, which are probably the best developer out there, right? Nintendo is. Now, what will happen is that Nintendo will eventually drop out of the console hardware business and start focusing on that strategy of making their, properties into, first into cell phones and then into, apps on your TV, and you will continue to see the only hardware they will make is the hardware like we're seeing with the Nintendo, right? They're gonna make this small HDMI consoles with 30 games or whatnot. Which, by the way, that console there is gonna be a freaking hit. They will sell that up their anus. I mean, they will sell that. You're not gonna have enough of those out there.
You say that though, but Nintendo still dominates something like 60 to 70% of the mobile market as far as like handheld gaming units. The freaking 3DS still doesn't say anything well. So I think Nintendo, they have a really good idea. I think it's a matter of how they execute the NX, and based on whether or not it's going to be like this weird, unique mobile kind of experience where you can hook it to your TV / take it with you. It seems like Nintendo is trying to be relatively innovative because I think they see the end of the console wars coming in the sense that there will be no more consoles to fight the war with. And they want to make a unique gaming platform, which I think is probably a better idea to execute than it is just to stick with the current status.
Oh, at this point it is, because of how they conduct themselves since the Wii. Of course it is at this point, because they can't. I mean, how will they be able to compete? But that said, I think yes, you're right. The handheld market is getting, it's a huge market for Nintendo, but it's dropping, and it's dropping really fast. And what it's getting, more and more used, is this cell phones. So, more and more kids these days play here than with a 3DS, right? Kids more and more ask their parents not for a 3DS, but for a phone, or if not a phone, like an iPod, where they can play the games still as well. So I think the best and the smarter strategy for them, if they want to continue to make a lot of money, it's to use their properties and have be a service, because as well as Sony and Nintendo right now, I think have the best developer teams out there. So they can leverage that and again not have overhead with an investment, which is a huge investment. The R&D investment on hardware, it's freaking huge, right?
Oh yes.
So it's just for them, if they become a service more than anything, and it will be free money for them pretty much. So I think that's the way the market is gonna go, and I think you mark my words, Nintendo's gonna be the first the major console manufacturer to drop and to be the more of a software than hardware.
I mean, like Sega already did that though. If you want to get
I know. Well, yeah, but we're talking modern times. Yeah, Sega did that.
But even then though, something I would put out really quick to talk over Jared would be that even though Nintendo has made this massive step into the mobile market by releasing Pokemon Go, if you look at the retention numbers for that application, they've already lost like something like 30% of the user base, because mobile games, I'm going to put this out there, are ultimately forgettable, and you don't go back to playing them once you've played them.
Oh yeah, but but it's funny. You're talking about they're losing 10 million users, but they still have like 20. And
they still have a shit ton of users. Yeah.
But that's the normal arc of any software on a mobile. It's the same arc. So they're still fucking kicking ass with the game. So and how much did they invest on it versus if they would have had R&D for a new handheld and come up with that same concept of a game into that new console. How much would that cost versus what they have here? I mean, the fucking game is, honestly, I'm playing it and I like it for what it is, but it's really not a good game.
Oh, I get truly way too pissed off at it in the sense that waste like 3 Pokeballs and a fucking Pidgey. Bullshit.
Oh my god.
No, it's truly not a good gameplay-wise, at least, or his story or whatever. It's not a good Pokemon game, honestly. The concept, though, it's great, right? You have to go out to find your Pokemons. That's how Pokemon should be. That part is great, but the execution of the thing is truly not, a great game at all. It's actually a really bad game. I enjoy it just because I wanna, fucking stats whore, I guess. That's how you wanna do it. That's how you hook people like me, right?
I'm a nostalgia whore. So.
Well, I'm a nostalgia whore as well. You can see with all my fucking games, but
I wish I had a lot of games.
Yeah.
But that's why I love RPGs, right? Because of the stats. But whatever, that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Aren't they talking about the NX is possibly a new handheld?
Possibly, yes.
It's going to be
hybrid, right?
Yeah, it's a hybrid. It's a handheld and a console.
And they have been talking about releasing a new Pokemon the camera game.
Oh, Pokemon
Snapshot. Pokemon Snapshot.
Oh, really? I heard about Pokemon Snap going to the Wii store or whatever.
Yeah, they're bringing that back, and then they're talking about a new one being developed for the NX because it's being apparently a mobile or a handheld system.
Oh.
Well, Pokemon Snap was an okay game, so yeah, I'll love to give that new one a try.
It'll probably be a hybrid, sort of like what the Wii U is right now, I think.
I don't think we use a hybrid.
Well,
I don't think so either. I think it's mainly a peripheral. If you really
yeah. I mean, it kind of flopped because they didn't really. They keep trying to.
I think the biggest reason why the Wii U flopped was because they didn't bother to name it something different. So people just ended up thinking it was an add-on for the Wii, and they're like, eh.
But that's because
I think that was part of it, but I don't think it was the whole story.
no, I also
I think
think
it's a big part of it for me in the sense that
How-
I'm like, why the fuck would I want to buy an add-on when they already had like the stupid ass workout board and a bunch of other shit for the Wii?
I mean, how hard is it to understand that they just put a U in Wii U? I mean, us real gamers knew the difference.
So, yeah, see, that's the thing, though, is that the Nintendo, the people who buy the Nintendo, a lot of them are parents. And I say that as a person who worked at GameStop when the Wii and the Wii U were out. They were a lot of gift-giving consoles. The Wii and the Wii U were bought a lot by parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters, and things of that nature. And a lot of people didn't know what the hell it was because it was marketed so awkwardly. It didn't clearly say, it's a brand new console and this is the controller. They made it look like the Wii U tablet was all it really was, and that's how they kind of marketed it. And it didn't click with a lot of people until it was in the store, and by that point it was a little bit too late and people didn't know exactly what it was. And then when you tried to explain it to them, they were like, I gotta pay for all of this, plus if I want to get another controller, which you can't even really do because they don't really sell those individually.
That was a huge downside.
It was kind of bad.
Yeah, but I think Nintendo also they could have dominated, but they shoot themselves in the foot, but by not embracing the third-party developers. If they would have had a third party, they would have fucking crushed everything, because you add the Nintendo games plus third-party support for all the other games that are coming on the other platforms, and you have a recipe for kicking ass there. But they fucked that up, and it seems like they're gonna fuck that up with the NX as well. So I don't know.
Do you think it didn't get any third-party support because the machine wasn't powerful enough?
Well, it didn't get third-party support because it was awkward to program for.
There was a lot of problems with it. As you said, with awkward support, and Nintendo was not very supportive to the third parties. So they say, fuck it, you're just gonna go with these guys, and they're selling more as it is. So, they fucked that up, and they should have embraced more of that and go back and try to get them, but they have it at this point, and I think the NX is gonna have the same problem with third parties, and so which in my view it will make it so it's gonna be a Wii U 2, pretty much. They will have yes, it's gonna be different. I'm not saying it's gonna be the same, but in terms of sales and why people buy it, you're still gonna have the same reason to buy it. Why is your reason to buy it? To play Nintendo games. That's it. But that's only for hardcore gamers, honestly. I mean, that's the people who buy a Wii U game. People, and also people who grow loving Nintendo. So that's the only reason, really. At this point, that's what I'm seeing. I don't know if it's gonna change that, but at this point, that's what it is.
But
again, I think when it comes down to, you say Nintendo's going to be the first one to go, I honestly believe Xbox is going to be the first one to bite that bullet.
I actually 100% agreed, actually.
I think they're going to pull the
I think you're going to be
out of-
surprised. As soon as I think they want to continue to have a presence against Sony. Xbox could be, they could, there's no reason because everything is moved to PC as well. But I honestly think that Nintendo will be faster than Xbox.
I disagree, because if you look at the sales of the Xbox One, Xbox 360, Xbox One's so not doing so well at the moment.
No, I know, but they are coming. Okay, but they are right now. They already have the Xbox S and they have the Xbox Scorpio. That's on the pipeline already, and I think the Xbox Scorpio is gonna have way more legs than the NX. That's why I'm saying that, and I think the NX will drop faster, and make it so that Nintendo will just say, well, nope, we're not making any new ones, and I think Xbox will drop as well fairly soon. But I think I'm putting Xbox after Nintendo just because the Scorpio I think will have longer legs than the NX.
I think the Scorpio is just going to be another fucking clusterfuck for them, considering everything going on. I think when the PlayStation comes out with the Neo and the new PlayStation 4 Slim that they just announced, or didn't announce but leaked.
I've heard that was fake, actually.
No,
Is there new news about it? The stuff
I was
I've
reading
heard
some new news on
fake
it. I
3D
showed
print.
you, but my computer crashed to a blank screen. But I can still talk for some reason, so it's all good.
That's weird.
Yeah, so yeah, they released some new things. I was just reading it, so yeah, so I really think Xbox is behind the 8-ball on this. I think the NX is going to sell more than the Scorpio and the S, because I don't know, it's just Xbox has just not been doing it. As you know,
I know.
The Halo's not as good.
No,
I
Halo's
agree,
is
but
sucking.
I think though from what I see though, it seems that the Xbox Scorpio is going to be more powerful than the PlayStation Neo Neo, and if news of that come out and news of the like exactly how it happened with the PlayStation 4. Why the PlayStation 4 became the biggest one? So it was a combination of, first of all, bad publicity for the Xbox because they fucked it up.
Mm-hmm.
The price, it was
$100 cheaper.
Yeah, and because they fucked that up as well, because they wanted to include the fucking
Kinect.
Kinect seeing you every time, and the console was less powerful than the PlayStation 4, so it just makes sense to have the PlayStation 4.
You can only do 900 fucking p. What
Yeah.
was that? Like, why wouldn't they have planned ahead to do 1080p? That was the dumbest part of the Xbox launch.
So
And you can share your games.
So I think they understand why they lost so badly. So I think they're modifying that, and I think that the Xbox will be more powerful. It will not be more expensive than the PlayStation 4 Neo. It will be either the same or a bit lower price. It can't be more pricey than the PlayStation 4. And if they do that, and again, word comes out, and you see, but these games can do 4K much easier than this, and the everything's smoother here, and it will eventually be a rolling effect, and might have a chance. That's why I'm saying I understand everything you're saying, and I think that's a possibility, but I think there's also the possibility that I'm talking about where the Xbox can recover, and they will have more legs, and that's why I'm still saying that Nintendo will be the first one to drop.
I'm going to also... I don't know if it's going to be Nintendo, but I do also want to add on that I think Xbox will make a boost, and the main reason I think this is because of crossplay. Crossplay with PS4, but more importantly, crossplay with PC on the Windows 10. I think that's going to be huge in the future. I personally am glad about that because I want to play Gears of War, but I have no plans of buying a Xbox One. But now I can get games like Forza and Gears of War and possibly maybe a Halo if I think it looks good in other games. Play it with my friends. I know, Tyler. You're gonna say the whole physical copy PC games and stuff. But
no, I was going to say I don't recommend the Halo campaign.
Halo,
The story was very weak, and I lost interest like really quickly. No, I wasn't saying anything about PC.
Okay, awesome.
See, I just want to say something like this is very reminiscent to me of something that happened years ago. A prominent company that was doing successful in its consoles came out with a console that just was god-awful, and they misstepped horribly. They didn't do as well. They screwed it up. Then they came out with one that was supposed to be its re-emergence, and then that one flopped. And I see this being exactly Xbox, and that was being Atari.
Oh, I was thinking of Sega, but okay.
I thought you were getting at Sega.
Yeah, Sega would be more.
Sega won't work because Sega, everyone loves the Dreamcast. You look at the Atari, I forget which one, was amazing, and everyone loved it.
2600.
Then they came out with another one, and that one was garbage. And
5200.
Yeah, it was garbage. Nobody liked it. Then they tried to come out with the 76 or something.
78.
78. And then they kind of stopped. And then you look at, they came out with the Jaguar. And then that's the end of the company.
Link.
I see this being Xbox's S and Scorpio being in the Jaguar.
I think that it more has to do with the fact that Microsoft has already accepted the fact that the console market is kind of lost in that in order for a gaming console to be competitive with modern PCs, they have to essentially continually release upgraded models of it in order, otherwise they're not competitive, and people are continually downgrading their product to appease a, at that point, adequate platform. And by Microsoft expanding the fact that the Xbox platform is not just the Xbox, but also any Windows-based PC, they're essentially making a release platform for games that exponentially exceeds that of PlayStation. So for them, it's an entirely different concept, where PlayStation is still very much locked literally in a box where you can only play on the PlayStation. Microsoft and Xbox has the ability to make it a platform that you can play on not only the PC but the Xbox. So they have a much larger potential audience in what they can play on. So their entire strategy is entirely different than what Sony's doing. Where, because ultimately Antonio's right, this console market.
Of course I'm right. I don't know why you are doubting that.
I just disagree in the sense that I think Nintendo, if they do the NX correctly, I think could be a really innovative experience, because I like the idea of console games continuing.
No one disagrees with that, though.
Yeah, but personally, I'm also the guy who really wants Sega to do the Dreamcast 2 or some shit, but they're never going to do it. But that's just me. But I think Xbox, they have a different idea in the sense they're trying to innovate in an area where you can't keep going in a console market like this, because you can't keep manufacturing a product where you spend 5 years developing it with the expectation of it having a 5-year to 6, or probably a 5-year to 8-year run as an actual market product. I mean, the 360, as to how they got as much life out of it as they did, I'm actually genuinely surprised, because those things were pretty much antiquated 2 years after they came out.
Yeah, and people are getting accustomed to having now, like with the phones, right? Having upgrades yearly upgrades, and significant upgrades of that in terms of hardware, processing power.
Mm-hmm.
So, and more and more again, this is a generational thing as well. More and more, the new generations are doing all their gaming in this. They're not doing anything anywhere else, and I think this actually disrupts the market, right? It makes it so that we start to see these types of moves that we're seeing now, and the economy is just so prohibitive that right now, making it more and more difficult to people to justify purchasing these $500 machines. With $60 games that will probably eventually be $70 if things continue to be like this. Where that's in my opinion just the logical sense. That's just what makes sense financially. And corporations are financial machines, right? They want to make money. That's what they want to do. They're not here to make the Dreamcast 2. And can I say, the Dreamcast, in my opinion, is very much overrated.
Fuck you. No, the Dreamcast is a fucking great system. They just unfortunately didn't make the right decisions when following through with it.
They should have added a DVD drive to it.
Oh yes, DVD drive would have done it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is overrated.
Hang on. Whoa.
Shut your mouth, Antonio.
Overrated.
I think that's another opening for. Hang on. I think this is another opening for Versus. Is the Dreamcast overrated or not?
It is very much.
Versus the historic nerd.
It's very much overrated.
And then
has spoken.
What say you guys?
The pre-fight could be is esports a real sport?
Well, I mean, here's a quick thing I'm gonna say. If Sega of Japan hadn't fucked over Sega of America 2 times in a row, actually 4 times in a row before the beginning of the 32-bit war, and let Tom Kaczynski actually manage the company the way he had envisioned, Sega would be dominating the console market to this day. That's all I gotta say.
Well, we'll find out in our new Versus.
Yeah.
Let's continue on. We went from PlayStation Plus to the demise of
Demise
of the console.
Yeah.
Well, to competitive gaming to the demise of consoles.
exactly.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
It's a great circle.
We talk about No Women in Sky next.
Oh man, well, I would like to, but we're running short on time actually.
Right.
I might have to get to that either next week or in the
Let's
future.
talk about it
More
now.
information.
The game's called No Man's Sky, and people are upset because there's no women in No Man's Sky.
That's exactly what.
Shouldn't that be the opposite? There's no men in the sky.
Yeah, I don't see
If
men
you
in the
call it No
sky.
Man's Sky, where it's just a really boring game, because your sales have already dropped 80% second week or third
Yeah.
week in.
The thing was, I was never interested in the game because it's about space exploration.
Well,
I'm
I was never into
those
it to begin
games.
with because they were promising a lot of shit, and I'm like, that's not a game. That's just resource collecting and like going to places. It's not.
So you're saying that these guys are the new Peter Molyneux?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Lionhead Studios were like, I'm gonna promise you everything. Where you're gonna jump into this game and you're gonna have babies and live a life, and you're never gonna have to go anywhere. You're just gonna play this game and be fully fulfilled. Like,
Yeah.
Peter Molyneux, no, that's not how games work.
Yeah, when I said that, I meant the sequel.
I meant the third game that you'll probably never play.
The difference is between this and Peter Molyneux
I
is
actually
that this game actually came out.
liked all the Fable games, but
You know, the Fable games were really good if you didn't hear all the hype that was surrounded around it.
yeah, I mentioned before, I never heard any of the hype, and I just bought the game one day, and I liked it for what it was. I could beat the first game in one day.
That's
Yeah.
not good.
I don't like that.
To me, it is if I want to kill some time before I had to go somewhere.
Yeah, and see, here's the thing, because I want to throw out some facts or things that have been stated by the actual developer, because I did more research after the last time we talked about it, and found that there were a lot of video clips of this guy saying, "Oh yeah, you can do all these things." Like he was being asked, and he a yes or no question, but yes, you can do that, and nod and smile and talk about seeing other people in the game, and apparently that's necessarily not the case where you can actually play with other people. I thought that. He never said that, but he did legit say that, yeah, you can play with other people in the game, and that's not the case, and that you can do all this stuff, and that you can go to the center of the universe, and there's this big surprise, but that wound up being a huge letdown. I won't spoil it for you, but
There's nothing there, people. I'm letting you know now.
there's nothing at the end
There's
of the
nothing
universe.
there. We're spoiling it right now. I don't want you guys to waste hours of your lives away.
So, yeah, there's like this big shell of a game where they were promised, and this, there hasn't been any word that I've heard so far about whether they're going to add more stuff to it, because I'm thinking maybe they're going to, add more, but they didn't say that the game was going to be a shell of what they promised. They didn't give you any heads up, so it's kind of, this is, I would say this is very much Peter Molyneux, where they're promising you the world, and then when you get the game, it's not what you're promised. That's really messed up. This isn't the same thing as Street Fighter, because they were told that they're going to release the game and it's going to have the bare bones and it's going to be added on, and they have actually fulfilled everything. They have added the characters, they have added the storyline and new stages.
Oh, stop trying to make Street Fighter 5 sound good. It sucks and it's garbage. We all know
No,
that.
I'm using it as an example because, no, seriously though, this is a good example. Not because I like Street Fighter, but because they told you this game is going to be bare bones when it comes out, but we're going to add it, and they have fulfilled that promise. Some things got pushed back, but they did still come out. So you have a whole bunch of new characters, you have a whole bunch of new stages out, and although you have to spend a lot of time playing it, you can buy it all without real money, and there is a whole big storyline in there that's actually really cool. So you have the story mode, you have the online multiplayer with the lobbies that they added in there, so you can play with your friends. I've done that. That's really fun. Spectating, all that stuff. They've added all this to the game, and they said they're going to. But No Man's Sky, what's going on?
But wait, is there arcade mode yet?
There was always an arcade mode, wasn't there?
There was a survival mode. I mean, it's kind of the same thing.
Well, not really.
It's a
But,
little
I mean, with No Man's Sky, though, technically, they were right. You do play with other people. meaning other people who've explored these planets, their name gets put on that planet when you go to explore it, because they explored it first, and that shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So technically, he didn't lie about it if it was a yes or no question, right?
And they did offer you the world.
They did, and they did offer you, stuff at the center, and who knows if that's actually the real center of the universe. Who knows?
We will find out more in the future, hopefully.
Well, exactly, right? That's unfortunately where you're at. But I mean, at least it offered you so far a game that gives you, 100 hours plus worth of playing, of collecting, as Ian said, resources and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to stick to Starbound for now until they add more content.
What's Starbound?
Imagine a 2D version of No Man's Sky.
Is it like Earthbound?
No, it's like Terraria or Minecraft, but it's 2D and it's very space themed. You go to different planets and you can build stuff. If you've played Terraria, it's exactly the same thing, but in my opinion, a little bit better because of how the building and manufacture mechanic works, and then also because you can go to different planets. So instead of like generating a whole new world again and exploring that one, you just go to a new planet and get different resources, and different planets have different resources and different people living there, and there's a whole storyline to it now. So I find that more appealing than No Man's Sky, where it's this vast nothingness. Oh,
Starbound is the
sounds boring. I'm gonna go and read a book.
Starbound is the equivalent to, I guess, the Street Fighter V to No Man's Land. Like every other fighter is more superior than Street Fighter.
So true.
I'm still waiting for you to get King of Fighters 4 so I can bop you in that. Just saying.
Hey man, that's fine by me.
Can we stream that? Can we stream that?
We'll stream it, yeah.
That'll be fun.
Can I have a commentary?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Sweet.
He's pressing the button. No, he's pressing the button.
Oh my gosh, Tavian accidentally select a character that looks like Ryu. He's forgetting that it's not Ryu. It's not Ryu, Tavian. Stop selecting him.
There actually is a character that looks like Ryu and kind of plays like Ryu, so...
Oh, look at that. He's button mashing. That's what most Street Fighter V players do. You can hear it over the microphone.
This is how I play my game, like this. Exactly how I play it.
We all saw that video of the little boy playing.
There actually is a couple of... I talked to one guy recently. There's another dude named Broly Legs that he's a quadriplegic and plays with his face. And he's actually really, really good. He's like top 16 type good. And then there's also another guy that plays KI, Killer Instinct, that's like top 8 good. Pretty ridiculous. But I digress. We are out of time for tonight. I definitely enjoyed our conversation. I did want to give a shout out, even though he's not here anymore, to Fatty Gang. That guy is very crazy. I'm not going to yell your name, but thank you for stopping by. Also, thank you for SD Dog for joining the chat as well. I'm going to go down the line and let these fine young gentlemen tell you where they can be found and what they do, starting with Antonio.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube at Gokado Retro Reviews. Gokado's in Gokido. Twitter at Gokadito, Gokadito. And of course at the Console Explosion. I have a Facebook page as well, which is, let me tell you right now, because this is how much I know this, but it's Gokado Retro. Facebook/Gokado Retro.
All right.
And there you go.
Ian.
Yeah, you can find me at www.historicnerd.com. Or you can find me at the sensual followings of www.youtube.com/historicnerd. Or if you want to talk to me directly, you can talk to me directly at historicalnerd on twitter.com. That's entirely up to you. But yeah, if you want to talk to me, you can find me at those places, or you can find me on theconsoleexplosion.com. Which
you can also call his 800 hotline sex line number, where it's 1-800-HISTORIC-SEX.
The hairy palm, you mean?
The hairy palms.
Do you want to hear me in a George Washington voice or Abraham Lincoln's voice?
Do you want to hear me talk about where I won't tell a lie?
All right, Tyler.
Alright, you can find me on YouTube, the Video Game Hunter 32, or Hot Anime 32. They'll both take you to the same channel. You also can find me Facebook, the Video Game Hunter, Twitter, VGH32, and if you're a furry, you can find me on furzu.com, Video Game Hunter.
Calm yourself, Jared. Calm yourself. And do you have anything to add on?
No, just make sure you check out our YouTube. Make sure you check out our website where you can find all these guys and more members of the Console Explosion who make some wonderful content. As well as make sure you check out our Twitch. We have streams every day on our Twitch. Collect those Explosion bucks and you can get some wonderful prizes. One of those prizes being from Mr. Video Game Hunter here.
Yeah.
And just want to say, check us out on Twitter, Facebook, all that jazz, and a nice round of applause to Retro Cynical.
Yeah, congratulations on the Scream Wave.
Yeah, just want to lay that out there. But yeah, make sure you check out everyone on the Console Explosion. Great guys, great stuff, great works, fabulous group.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And as always, I'm your host, The Philosopher. You can find me on Facebook.com/Philosopher, YouTube.com/ThePhilosopher, Twitter @ThePhilosopher if you want to message me personally. And of course, as they already said, the ConsoleExplosion.com. So definitely check us out. Also, let us know what you thought about everything that we talked about tonight in the comments down below. And if you guys don't know, we do our podcast live every week on Wednesdays now at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to come chat with us, share your thoughts in real time, and kind of get the conversation going, give us some new ideas or your perspectives, greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.